Have you ever joined a new group and had to get to know everyone all over again? Hello, this is Joe Kwan, EVP of Marketing for Alpha, New Jersey. And this year, our Alpha board and team has a lot of new faces. And we thought having some conversations would be a fun way for us and you, our Alpha members, to get to know our team. Today, we're very fortunate to have with us Otiss Aracena, Director of Community Development. Hi, Otis.
Hey, Joe, how are you doing?
Excellent. So we are just kicking off this series with you in the new year. It just turned. How are you feeling going into 2022?
I'm feeling excited. One of the things I always look forward to in the new year are all the opportunities and all the opportunities and projects we'll potentially be able to be a part of. So I'm really looking forward. As you'll get to know me a little bit, hopefully throughout the session, I'm a very optimistic person. So I'm always looking forward to what the future has in store for us. So.
All right, a glass half full kind of guy.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Well, let's get to know you a little bit better. Curious to hear a little bit about what is the value above and beyond your title or roles you may have had that you provide in everything that you do.
Yeah, Joe. One of the things I always try to bring to the table is my undivided attention, my passion, positivity, and max effort to everything I do. No matter what it is, I always try to do it to the best of my abilities. And it's not necessarily due to my competitive nature, but it's because I'm just very protective of my reputation. I understand, I guess, the responsibility and the accountability that my actions carry. And I've always felt that in everything I do, I'm not only representing necessarily myself, but also my family, my country, and also my community. So it's something that, I take very personal, and I always try to give my best.
Well, I'm getting a very kind of loyal, kind of family vibe, very proud of your background. Tell us a little bit about your background and, sort of your ethnic background as well as your family background.
Yes, sir. So I'm originally from the Dominican Republic. My father was from Spain, and my grandfather, my mother's father, was from China. So a clash of cultures there. I came to the US at a very young age. I was about 11 months old. But I still had the opportunity at around 12. I did go back to the Dominican Republic, and I lived there for 17 years. So
Wow.
my professional career started there. I went to college there. I've been back in the US for the past 10 years. But as you said, I am very proud of where I came from. I do acknowledge all the opportunities that the United States has provided for myself and for my kids and my family. But I also try at least every summer to send them back to the Dominican Republic so they can spend time with my mother. I want them to stay in touch with the culture and kind of, have a sense of appreciation of the opportunities that they currently have, that not everyone gets that opportunity. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked before about your reputation and making sure people are perceiving you the right way. Maybe tell us about a situation where this has really come into play for you and really made a difference in your career or maybe decisions you've made.
Yeah. So, I think one of the responsibilities I have always viewed myself with is I have 3 boys. And I always try to do right because I always know that they're looking at, the way I act, the decisions I make. And something as simple as, and this might sound a little bit funny, but in the Dominican Republic, stop signs and red lights are not as respected, let's say, as they are in the United States, especially after hours. So even things like that, I would always pause and make sure that if there is a stop sign or if there's a red light, that I stop. And I do remember, I do recall one of my sons once asking me, "Hey, Dad, it's midnight. Why are you stopping? No one else does it." And my response to him was, because it's the right thing to do. It doesn't matter if no one else does it, but I know, that it's the right thing to do. And that's kind of how I try to carry myself in everything, regardless if, I'm being, let's say in a job, I'm being monitored or overseen or whatever the case may be. I always try to carry myself doing the right thing.
Yeah, what I find interesting about that and what resonates with me is, and I have a son as well, a 13-year-old. Our kids, what I've noticed is they don't listen so much to what we say or what we tell them, but they certainly pick up what we do and can use
Absolutely.
it against you if you tell them something else. I mean, they are keen observers. And they know us sometimes better than we know ourselves. So you telling them to respect the rules and do the right thing doesn't land the same way if you don't practice that.
Absolutely. Completely agree with you on that, Joe.
Yeah, great. Well, let's tell us a little something that you wish more people knew about you. Maybe what's something that's not as commonly known about Otis.
Yeah, I guess as I mentioned at the beginning, I consider myself to be very optimistic. I believe in luck, and in that the way people approach failure will eventually define, if they are successful or not. And the reason I say that is because failure can either freeze or limit you, or it could provide the fuel and motivation to continue to keep going. And when I said that I believe in luck, I believe in luck being defined as when preparation meets opportunity. And I think I'm a living example of that. Um, one professional milestone that I was able to hit at a very young age, at the age of 33, is that I was appointed the chief audit executive for the Americas of a prestigious global asset management firm. And at that point, the firm managed about $600 billion. Dollars. So coming from the Dominican Republic, probably something that I never thought I'd have the opportunity to do, especially with the, I guess, financial system in the Dominican Republic. It's not as structured and it's not as complex as it is here. So that's one of the things that I'm very proud of. And I guess on a personal note, when you get to know me, I may come out sometimes as being outgoing and very social. But in reality, that's a work in progress for me. I'm really much of an introvert and really laid back. But one of the ways I actually enjoy expressing myself is through writing. I love writing poetry. I can sit down for hours and hours and just write and journal. I journal every day. So it's something that I really do enjoy.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you ever share any of your writing, either online or published?
Yeah, you know what, Joe, I don't, but one of my goals, hopefully, if I get the opportunity someday, is to eventually be able to write a book or two. It's
Yeah.
something that I'm really interested in. And most of the time, the people that get to see my writings are my family. But I haven't shared them. I haven't been as public with them as probably I would like to be.
Huh. And one last question on the writing. What
Yeah,
language do you write in? Do you write in English or Spanish or both?
both. Yeah, both. I started writing in Spanish, and then I transitioned to English. So both.
Great. Well, thinking a little bit more about how we're going to interact with you going forward, tell us a little bit about what you'll be doing for us as Director Community Development for ALPFA New Jersey.
Yes. So my role, as you mentioned, for the ALPFA New Jersey board, will be as Community Development Director. I will be supporting Wanda Griffin, who is the Community Development VP. And I'm very excited just about the unlimited opportunities that we'll have to support not only our partners, but our members in our communities. I'm really looking forward, to the opportunity of making a long-lasting positive impact in all that we are able to serve. Um, I one of the things I'll most likely be working with Wanda on, and that we have planned, is a couple of events. We want to at least have every other month an event for our members and the community where we can give back, and hopefully instill, um, that sense of service that we both have. One of the things, Joe, that, like I said, I'm very passionate about everything I do. And one of the things that I've always really believed is that legacy is the part of you that you leave in others. And that's something that I'm really striving for. And hopefully I'll be able to accomplish that through the service I'm able to provide as part of the board.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to all those activities and what you and the rest of the team come up with. Now, in my mind, someone who joins in a community development role, that's not something they roll out of bed and say, hey, I'm going to do community development for this nonprofit. Maybe you could share with us a little bit about kind of your background. I'm sure there's other areas where you've served and contributed in the past, either in your local community or your companies. Curious to hear about what brought you here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel, it may sound cliche, but I do feel that I have a calling for serving. It's something that has fulfilled me since a very young age. I feel I've been serving others since very young. Had my first child with my wife at the age of 15. At that point in time, also had to become, I guess, the man of the house, let's call it that way, with my mom as well. So my service, I guess, started at a very young age. And people from the Dominican Republic, they'll be able to relate to this. I remember that, having to get water for the community, walking 1 mile, 2 miles, just carrying buckets of water for the community. I will say this, one of the reasons that drew me into ALPFA and this role is having that opportunity to serve. I probably haven't done it as much as I would like to. And the reason is because since I moved to the US, I've kind of moved around a little bit. I started off in Buffalo, New York, then moved from there to New Jersey, lived some time in New York, and now I'm currently in Delaware. So finding kind of, having that time to find, I guess, opportunities to service the community. I really haven't had much here in the States. But like I said, I'm really excited, and I guess that buildup that I have of working and doing it, hopefully, ALPFA is able to benefit from that.
Well, really looking forward to that. And it is really interesting finding that balance between maybe activities that I don't want to say aren't related to work, but maybe aren't like as obviously directly related to what our bosses expect us to do, right?
Correct.
I imagine a lot of the things that you'll be doing will naturally feed into and benefit all the work you do, in your role at the company you're at now. So I don't think it's unrelated, but certainly maybe conventionally people don't think of it as directly related.
Absolutely.
All right, great. Well, let's try something a little bit fun if you're game.
Yep, absolutely.
Tell us something that not many people know about you, but you're willing to share with us today.
Well, I have a couple. I have a couple for you.
Yeah, go for it.
I guess I'll start with, since we're talking about the whole sense of service and that part of it. If I could, my ideal situation would actually be to one day be able to spend most of my time volunteering and serving communities around the world. Prior to dedicating myself, I guess, to the audit profession, I was actually an ESL teacher for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
And I've always thought about, the possibility of being able to go to underprivileged communities or countries, and just changing lives through teaching. It's something that has always, I've had that feeling. So, I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, we have one son out of college already, 2 more to go.
Hmm.
If honestly I didn't have the opportunity of them depending on me, I'd probably would just be volunteering. It's like I said, it's what fulfills me. And then I guess another thing, I was in a boy band when I was 15 years old.
No, come
Yes,
on, you're lying.
yes, yes. Actually had a record deal with BMG Records.
What?
And again, it's just crazy how sometimes things work out. At that point in time, being a minor, my mom had to provide her permission. She was not on board with it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they actually wanted us to move to Miami for that. And, my mom, she had just moved a couple of years before that. She had just moved us, my sister and me, from the US to the Dominican Republic. So, just the possibility of a 15-year-old son at that point being by himself.
Mhm.
And on top of that, as I mentioned, I had the responsibility already of a child.
That's right.
She was like, "Nah, you're gonna stay here. You're gonna do what you have to do." And I guess my second option after singing and music was accounting. So that's how I majored in accounting.
That's a really obvious pivot right there for
Absolutely,
me.
right? Absolutely. So, I must say, when I started actually my career in accounting, I never thought I'd be calling myself a lifetime auditor. But I guess, life has its ways. And I really, honestly, I can't complain because, all the opportunities that I've been able to provide my family with has been as a result of that. So, as they say, mama knows best.
Well, God bless your mother, of course. And
Thank
um,
you.
I only half jokingly say this, but a lot of conversation we've been having behind the scenes on our Alpha New Jersey Slack. It's like we got to have a Alpha New Jersey talent show. We have so many talented people on the board and so many members. We should totally have one. So I only half jokingly make that. And now with the boy band, I mean, come on.
Well, there you go. There you go. Who knows? Who knows? We'll make a comeback.
Amazing, amazing. Well, Otis, thank you so much for the conversation. And I'm really looking forward to working with you and to you and the rest of the Alpha community. On the behalf of Otis and I, we're really looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everyone.